Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will check out the OP8 King leader. I was really surprised, same as the Ace leader. Like I guess this week we definitely have some spicy leader in the gameplay. That this leader is actually viable to play, because I heard maybe last season that he is really bad and has no chance of winning whatsoever. And now I saw also on the same site some, or like not some, but this new king list popping up and winning, not winning, but getting into the top 8, I guess, of an East side tournament in the OP 10.5 meta. So I was really curious also on this deck list, and I already saw like, yeah, that is definitely the type of deck list I want to show you and test out and everything. So let's check out the leader. So activate main, -Don, -2 Don. You can, if you if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw one, or give one of your opponent characters -2 cost. So you can decide what you need more. I guess the drawing one effect is way better, but -2 maybe can also come sometimes clutch, as we can play a lot of different not cost manipulating, but cost heavy cards. So he can KO a 0 cost, and he can KO a 3 cost. She can push a 6 cost, I guess, yeah, back into life. So definitely a lot of options, like a lot of KOing options for like low cost cards. And that is what we can do with the leader. But as you also notice, like -2 Don is definitely a high payment. You cannot do it that early, so, or you don't want to do it that early just for drawing a card or giving, especially for just giving -2 cost. So we are kind of dependent on our 10 Don turn to reach it quite fast. And then we can use the Onigashima to take all of the Dons back, especially if we also return 1 for Linden, then we go -3 in 1 turn. Then we definitely need the stage, the Onigashima Island. So as you can see, this deck is a mix of purple and black. We have some black KO, also in form of the Kuzan, which is a really strong and cool card. But also like the Shigin Finger Pistol, which is known for a really nice trigger, or also the Jag for cycling through your hand. But also we have some purple cards. The ulti is definitely just a 2k option, same as the Black Maria. The X-Drake technically could come up, like for -1 Don. Your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand, which is not that bad, but 5 Don for a 5 cost, the other way around, like the 5 cost. And using 5 Don for a 5k power is definitely not that strong, so also more like a 2k card. Same as the Sasaki, which comes a little bit frequently up, I guess, or like is more viable to play as it can reduce the cost, but it's also quite intense. Like you need to rest this card and 1 Don, which is kind of like a high payment for just a -2k, -2 cost. The Who's Who is also 2k, like we have a lot of 2k, like these two, this one, Black Maria, ulti is a 2k, so we definitely have some 2k options here. The Vivi is more like a blocker, and the trigger is play this card, which is quite nice. It's a little sad that you cannot search this card, because most of the other cards you can search with the Queen. I mean, like all of these are not possible, and also with the Queen I think I can only search for black cards. Oh no, actually it's like all Animal Kingdoms, so ulti is also possible, but this one is not an Animal Kingdom. So yeah, so that's why I cannot search it, but yeah, like the Jag is possible and all of these, and the 2k are also viable cards. And also quite important, the Onigashima, because you definitely want to see and have this card always in the beginning. Like this card ramps up quite fast, always an additional Don. And as I said, if you use the Charlotte Linden and the leader ability, like you're using 3 Don in a turn, So you definitely need this card to always have then 10 Dom left for probably play a Kuzan next turn or something like this. Yeah, so let's go right into the first video. Let's wait a second so far. Where is it? There. Okay, so our first game is against Moria. So let's see our hand. We have the Searcher, which is always nice for taking some big character, and as you can see, we only have 4 life, which feels a little bad, especially if you are such a late game leader. Like everything of this leader is kinda late game. We play a lot of high value end game cards, and we have the Onigashima, always nice to ramp faster. So 6 into 5 and play the Onigashima. Yeah, our deck is really dependent on the late game, so we definitely need to defend the early game as hard as possible. That's why we also have so many 2Ks. So we are just able to protect our life in the early game. We could take the first one. Yeah, there's a Kuzan, okay. Another Jack, 2, 6. Okay, we could play the Jack here, but we cannot KO anything, which feels kinda sad here. I mean, we could KO the... What was her name again? The Sindri, I guess. I mean, the Jack is also not that bad, but... Would be better if we had an alternative here. Okay, we drawing the Tempest Kick. We can only KO the Sindri. So he keeps the Kuzan, which is not that bad for us, because Kuzan will just... It feels like it's just negating our -+4 cost. Like the +4 cost will be just negated, and so Jack will have his normal 7 cost. Okay, he tries to KO even our Jack. I guess I cannot let that through. So if he plays now the Absolem, he will KO our whole board. And that is definitely something, as we saw like in the last game from Ace, like on Tuesday. That is definitely something that I cannot let happen, because you will lose a lot of value here. Another 2K, nice. 5 into 5. So we can let our 2K go. Sasaki, we can keep that card. So 5 into 5 maybe? Let's see if he lets it go. No. Probably, yeah. Play out the Kuzan first, KO the Kuzan, and now we can KO even the Absolem or the Perona. We need to trash a card first. Maybe a 2K, I mean we are still at 2 life, so probably? No, okay. We will get rid of the Jack just to play safe. And now can use the action ability to draw cards. Nice, a Dragon Finger Pistol. The problem is also for this leader to remember the ability, because you will not use it every turn. So you always need to make sure that you remember about the returning to... Oh, another Jack, quite nice. Always make sure that you remember about the returning and getting back, and yeah. Okay, that is definitely a problem. We should have countered out maybe. Oh no, we didn't have any possibilities here. Yeah, so now we have a problem. Okay, nice. There's the Charlotte Linden. So we can play this turn and gain another life. Really lucky that we draw that card, otherwise we would have lost here. So gaining a life. I think we keep all of our 2Ks. Now draw an additional card. Okay, a Tempest Kick. We could use that card here. He will probably take the life anyways. No, okay, we keep it. And 10 into 5. Okay, so now he lost his whole board and only 2 life left. So this turn was definitely strong for me. 7 into 5. Okay, he tries to check if he can get the last life, and probably playing a Gecko Moria maybe, if he has it. There's a Perona, okay. A Rebecca, okay. I mean, we can KO that with Jack, but then we maybe cannot go for life here, I don't know. Hina and brand new. So no Gecko Moria, feels bad. We could use the Who's Who for KOing the Rebecca and then go for life. So let's see what we do here. But yeah, probably the Who's Who is a viable option. Oh, but the Who's Who can only KO a 3 cost or less, right? Yes, so the problem is, how can we KO that Rebecca? Oh, did I miss something? Where was the Who's Who? Can I check the card again, please? Ah, oops. Where did I check the card? Oh no, here, right? I missed it again. Yeah, okay. You may discard 1 card from your hand. KO up to 1 of your opponent's costs. We have the Kuzan on board, so it doesn't matter. That is something to always remember, like the passive abilities and activate main leader abilities. That is something that you always forgot about. Yeah, Kuzan makes everything -5. So now we can just go 9 into 5. 9 into 5. Oh, okay, maybe I will go more? No, I don't think so, right? I mean, we could also go 10 just to make sure. Oh no, even 11, okay. And yeah, now 10. Let's see if he has enough counter in hand. He still has a lot of cards in hand, so 3 2Ks would save him here. Okay, 1 2K. Oh no, only 2K. 2 2Ks would save him here. Okay, 7 into 5. 6, 7, and we got it. So close. And he still had Gecko Morias in hand, but I guess he didn't have any Rebecca in trash, so that's why he didn't want to use the Gecko Moria. But yeah, we were definitely so lucky that we draw the Linden. Otherwise we would have lost way earlier. So we now play against Rosinante. That is definitely not the strongest leader, but possibly also an upcoming leader, because he got some, what do you say, like, it's not really support, but also some new strong cards in green, which are really beneficial, and blue for Rosinante. Let's see if he plays them. So we started with the Searcher, we got the Onigashima, which is really important for this deck. Maybe not as much as the stage in Reiju, but still a strong card. So sadly we only have 6, which is a little problematic, I would say. So we cannot take the Linden. Yeah, we can only take the extract here. Because we can also not grab himself. So now the sugar is rested. He said he hit cancel. That is something you always have to remember. I guess it's not possible. Yeah, as you can see, there is no you may or if you want. There is only yeah, the ability written, so I guess it's not optional. So something that you always keep in mind or need to keep in mind and that you can counter out. Okay, he takes another life. Not unusual for a green deck, but anyways. Maybe the Tempest Kick, sure. Just for an additional blocker. I mean, the Queen is also a nice blocker that we have as an option, but always feels back to give one Dawn back. Okay, 9 into 5. He definitely wanted to get rid of our blocker. So we could play the Jack here, but then we cannot KO anything. I mean, we can then KO with our Searcher, the sugar again. Let's see. He will rest our Jack for sure. So now KO it. And then, yeah, 6 into 5. And we probably could use the, let me think about, yeah, we probably could have used the leader ability here. But the problem is we already at 2, 4, 6, 7 cards in hand, so we should have countered out more aggressively to draw a card here. That is also something to keep in mind with this deck. You want to have a low hand size because there's the Gum Red Hawk. Really unlucky for our Jack. Jack sounds more French. Definitely the Jack. And now we don't have any high cost character anymore. We can go for a lot of 5k attacks, which feels kind of nice. So he always takes or needs to give us like small counter cards. If he needs to give us 2ks, then it feels really good. Yep, was only 1k. Also an interesting card, I haven't seen it before. Maybe some cool tech choice. Itachi here, 2k, nice. So now we can play out the... Okay, a Tempest Kick. We could use the Tempest Kick if we want to. But doesn't matter anyways here. So now we are safe from his attack with a blocker. We got 2 cards off his hand and 2 attacks. I mean, it cost us also a lot because giving always 3 Dawn feels not that nice. Okay, nice. So we could play the Kusan here and KOing the kid next turn. We still have our blocker left. And getting rid now of the Tashigi. Yeah, so we couldn't attack. Oh, there's a Red Hawk again. Really sad. Okay, give him a card. Maybe the Black Moria. Yep. Another Tashigi, okay. We can use the Finger Pistol for the Tashigi. Play out the blocker and then also maybe search a card. Or like draw a card with our leader ability. Let's see if we can get something cool. A Lin, okay, nice. Maybe for next turn. So we go 8 into 8. Maybe he gives us a card from hand. Oh, he gives us the blocker. So he probably doesn't have a lot of counter cards left. When not 0. It sounds more like 0. So we let this one through. There's a Zabo. But the Zabo is kind of interesting because it will only protect cost 7 or lower. So feels like a little like a... It feels not like a misplay because it can still protect Smoker or other 5 cost cards. But for the useless kit it's definitely not a viable card to protect. So now we can give -3 cost to our useless kit. Yeah, I was just checking if it's really like a 7 cost, but yeah, it is. And then nice an Onigashima, so we can trash it from our hand with the Linlin, return 1 Don, trash, gain a life, and put it on the bottom of life. Because I don't want to play him and let him play it again next turn. So 5 into the lead, he takes it, draw 2, and a finger pistol. Return 1 Don with the Onigashima and give the turn back to him. So he has 1 Smoker left and 1 Zabo. I'm not sure. It's really not looking good for him, I guess. Like if he's not playing a blocker this turn, he will lose. And even if he plays a blocker, we still have Shagin Finger Pistol. Also he attacks with Zabo, and I think Zabo only protects if it's not rested, I guess. Okay, we block the Smoker attack, really nice. We take it, okay, a blocker, nice, we can just play it. Another useless kit that is really strong for him. But we can KO it. Yeah, just -3 and then KOing it. And now we can go for life, I guess. Okay, we are not going for life here. We try to demolish his board. And now, yeah, draw a card and then with Linden KOing the Smoker. And if he's not, like if he not having any good card in his hand, probably. Oh no, we KO Smoker. Okay, I'm not so sure about the last the last thing I did here. I mean, it's an additional attacker for us. Oh, okay, that went really fast. Let's go on the low side. Okay, let's see. Oh wow, it's really fast. 0.5. Let's see if we can get a stop at the right point. So I will not attack to give him a useless kit again because we don't have any removal at this point. And there it is. He had a shank, so actually a strong card. Like if we would have attacked with the Linlin, he could have just KO'd our Linlin. But then he didn't have any blocker, and also the Tashigi is not a blocker. Yeah, he really needed to have the useless kit, but he also had no possibility. Yeah, anyways, I guess he would have lost at this point. So let's go into the next video and gameplay. So now we play against Carrot. I don't know why she is so famous at the moment. It seems like everybody is playing Carrot. It's like a new popular deck in the town. Okay, our hand is quite nice. Some endgame character. A blocker would have been nice, like a 3 cost, or maybe like a 5 cost card, like maybe the Queen, but also the Vivi would be even better. Or the Queen also. But anyways, I guess I'm kinda happy with the cards I got. Okay, 7 to 5, we take it. Another Linden. Another 2k, okay, so we cannot do anything here. We can just go into life. I mean, we could play the Who's Who, but I guess it's not really worth it. Yeah, just go straight all in. And she would take it for sure. Like, she probably couldn't even counter out. Like 11, that would have been 4 cards and at least 3 2Ks. And she only had 4 cards in hand, so yeah, no way that this is happening. Okay, another Wonder Searcher. There's the Carrot. Strong card, but not against us. Because it can only freeze, I think it's 7 cost or lower. And our deck plays a lot of 8 or 9 cost. I mean, maybe against Jack it's not that bad. But against everything else, it is not that strong. Okay, we push it back to life, so we get rid of it, gain another life, which feels really strong. Maybe we can play the Kuzan next turn and KOing a Carrot again if she's playing it. Let's see what she's doing. 5 into 5. We counter that. Did we forgot losing our leader ability? I mean, that happens way too often, but anyways. I think we forgot it again. So really nice trigger, getting rid of the potential, the protein shake, getting rid of the potential second attack, which feels really good. Yeah, we could play the Kuzan here, why not? And KOing something. I mean, the Jack would be also fine, but I guess it's better to play the Kuzan. Okay, she takes both attacks, and we forgot the leader ability again. This happens way too often, I don't know why, but every time I'm playing like a new deck, it feels so hard to remember everything, like the passive, the leader ability, using the stage, and there are so many decks having so many different abilities and possibilities, and something that you need to remember, and I play way too often different decks to remember stuff like this. And also, to be honest, sometimes I'm playing like in the night, like after work or something, and I'm definitely not the most thoughtful at this point. I'm usually just playing for fun then and checking a little out and doing some small mistakes for sure. So we could play the Searcher here, maybe another 2k. I mean, we can also take the Jack. I mean, the Jack. It's at this point just a card for KOing. Return to draw another 2k, nice. And now just 7 to life. She will probably take it. The Jewelry Bonnie is quite nice for playing against high cost or high power character. Just to rest everything, or freeze everything. Better to say, because it's not resting, it's freezing. Feels really strong. Okay, another Rosinante. Seems like this card is really popular at the moment in Carrot decks. I mean, it can cheat out the Carrot, which is nice. So we counter that out. And now we can KO. What should we get rid of? Yeah, the Linden. KO. 9 into 6. She will probably not counter that out. KO another carrot. Draw a card. Gashima returns. 5 into lead. I think you guess. I guess you can see, or you can feel why this deck is strong. It's like a late game deck and it just overwhelms the opponent. Yeah. She still had some carrots left. The Pedro is strong against smaller, pushier character, but not against high cost, high power characters. So yeah, she was definitely in a bad position here. After we established the Kuzan, it was probably over for her. So now let's check out the more pushier deck, Vegapunk. Which the biggest problem of this deck is to live the first turns until you can overwhelm the opponent. So she starts with Jewelry Bonnie, nice. I also go first. So now we can play the Onigashima, really important card. Ramp fast. He takes the first life, which is not uncommon for Vegapunk. It's uncommon to play something in the life, which is not a on-play ability. Maybe he plays the late deck list from somebody from the east side meta, from the OP10. I saw a list which played Nico Robin, because I used to play Vegapunk also in OP9 and I didn't include the card. Because I would have liked Shaka way more. Did he counter it out before? Yeah. No, we just KO'd the Jewelry Bonnie, okay. So, wait, let's go back a second. So, we got the Black Moria, now we can play out the Jack. We ramped a Dawn with our Onigashima. Yeah, we get rid of a 2k. Now just go into live and get the Shaka out there. I don't know, he will probably not attack with the Shaka, but I'm not sure, let's see. I mean, that we are still at 4 life is quite crazy, especially because next turn we are already at 10 Dawn. So we can then play the Kuzan if we want, and KO something. Another Nico Robin. Nico Robin is always a +1, but she's not gaining that much value. Okay, he goes with the blocker in live, we KO with Kuzan, the Sanji blocker. Now 5 into lead, he probably takes it and draw 2. And then we can, oh no, he counters out. We forgot our leader ability, nice. Oh, a Yamato KO on our blocker, we should have used it more earlier. But I'm not so familiar with playing Yamato or even the 10 cost ace in Vegapunk. I like the more pushier deck, which plays only the low cost character, like the 5 and 6 cost. So now we can push back the Yamato at the bottom of life, like Kuzan is really strong for this. And now just straight go 3 times in life, and he probably cannot counter out. Okay, a Shaka. Okay, we can KO it. Draw 1 card, thrash the queen maybe. Yeah, KO the Shaka and 10 and 5. And he can draw 2. So go +1, we can draw also a card, another Linden, nice. So we are still at 4 life back. I mean, he's also at more life than he started, but our board is full. Like, we can KO every turn, an 8 cost or higher, or lower. Yeah, and he just gives up at this point. for back. And we have a 10k power character and a 9k power. So let's see alive. He has a 0 cost counter event. The Luffy will not gain any value, same as the Nami. The Frankie will not help him, and the Sanji, yeah, he would have needed even a Yamato. Like this is 4, this is 3, 7. Even a Yamato wouldn't have helped him. He probably, yeah, I don't know what would have helped him. Maybe some more Vegapunk cards. He could have cheated out something like the Searcher or more Shaka, or I don't know. Like at this point, yeah, as I said, I'm not a big fan of this kind of build. Like maybe it's also not that bad, but definitely not the type of build I enjoy playing. Okay, so our last game is against Yamato. Also a more pushier deck. Definitely also not that bad at the moment. Like she gained some value with the new cards. We got the good start, like the Searcher for the first turn and the Onigashima for the second. She plays the Raiju? No, what was the name again? Ryu or something? I forgot. But anyways, yeah, it's a card that is not gaining any value at the moment. Yeah, we could play the blocker here, just go 8. I think this is also the best for me at this point. Just swinging 8 on this third turn and play the VV blocker. And then you can go into track. Okay, Momonosuke pushing the Ryuma is the name, right? Pushing the Ryuma in life, I'm not sure why. Okay, we counter out the Yamato attack. Yeah, we play the Jack. We cannot KO anything, but oh, we can KO anything, true. Because of our leader ability. So as you can see, it can also sometimes come clutch. The problem is like most of the other cards, they need the minus reduction when they are played. So the 1 cost black event from the CP0 is way better for these terms, because the king needs to return 2, but then you only have 8 Don left, which is problematic if you want to play a 9 or 10 cost card. Okay, so she rests the VV blocker. We give her a 2k, so we will not lose 2 life. It's crazy that we're still at 4 life. I don't know what the Yamato player is doing, but it's definitely not the strongest idea. So we can play the queen, we turn a Don, take the Don back with Onigashima, KO the Kikunojo because we are still more than 3 life. Then we could KO with Jack. I'm always saying Jack now, I don't know why, like with Jack. The Iso. And go straight into life. We turn 2, draw a card. And we still have a Jack left. And a 2 blocker. Feels really. Oh, okay. 2 blocker don't matter at this point because of the Holy Jones. And she plays a blocker as well. So 9 into life? No. Also, as I see, she always forgets to get. Oh, lucky trigger. She always forgets her leader ability, right? Or am I wrong? Like usually you can attach 2 Don to a character, right? I mean, she didn't really attack that often, but yeah, I feel like she forgot her leader ability quite often. And also, let's check her hand. This is like the off-white card, I guess, right? Well, I'm not sure about the events, but good, Katakuri could have been, yeah, not that nice because our Jack is too high. The Hoodie Jones is nice, but then she always takes one of her lives, which is bad for her because, yeah, I can just go back into life. And I will definitely. The Kiko Nojo is a problem. Like now it's possible, but before it was the problem that I was always still at 4 life because I could have countered out that well. And Ryoma is not helping her because we are not playing any low cost character. So yeah, that was our last game. Quite fast, I guess. Oops, that was definitely not the right one. There. So let's check the deck list out again. I felt the deck was way stronger than I expected it, and then I remembered the king player to be. I mean, there's no new card in this list, and anyways, the deck is definitely not that bad. I mean, the early game feels kinda bad, especially after you use the first turn for queen and the second turn for Onigashima. Then the third turn you always don't know what to do. Like, I mean, you can KO something maybe, or play the queen, which slows you down for 1 Don, but otherwise, or maybe the VV and the leader ability attack is probably my favorite, like 8 into 5, and then the VV. But otherwise, the third turn is definitely the most weakest one, and if the opponent is too fast at this point, you will have a problem to come back at this point. Also, a big problem I can see is this card is really important for these bows, for KOing something, because I mean this card can also be combined with the leader ability, but this one and this one, they cannot be combined with the leader ability because otherwise you cannot play them. So I guess the the Tempest Kick, yeah, that is the name, is kind of good with the Linlin to push even a higher card into life if you need to, because sometimes 6 cost is definitely not that appealing. Like sometimes you need to push a higher character in there. Some leader don't play any low cost cards, like we also do, kind of. So yeah, for the Kuzan there's no option. Like you can play it and just, well, maybe it's just fine to not KO something, or you can just KO 5 cost, but yeah, usually this card could be also a problem because you cannot combine it with any cost reduction. But otherwise the deck felt quite good. We had a lot of 2Ks which I enjoyed a lot, like these two, these two, and some 1K, which for a high cost and definitely more bricky deck, I felt wasn't that bad actually. Maybe it was a small size of decks or like gameplays I had here, but I felt in general I really didn't have any problem with counters. I felt like sometimes NL, for example, or even Shanks was way brickier in this turn, but yeah, here it actually didn't feel that bad. Also, the triggers are really nice. I mean, this one will not come always up, and of course this one also not, but maybe a little more likely than this one. But I felt like these bows really nice to get the trigger. This trigger is also nice, but sometimes you would just take the 2K, the 2K counter and value it a little more. The blocker trigger is really nice. I exactly know why you play this card. I mean, I would have wished that this one, yeah, was an Animal Kingdom pirate card, but I mean also the VV is nice. This card could have been a little bricky, but I feel, especially in this deck, it's not that bad. Like you recycle with this card, you need to trash a card with this card. This card will also trash a card, so there are a lot of options to trash a card, and I didn't really felt this card was a brick. So in general, I felt the deck was really well rounded. Sometimes as I said, I had a little problem with the cost reduction. Like it was not always working. Sometimes you had a problem. Like I also, of course, lost some games which are not included here. And the biggest problem for this deck sometimes is that you are looking at a, I don't know, like a 7 cost or even a 6 cost board, and you have a Jack and a Linlin and maybe a Kuzan, and you cannot KO anything from the board. But if you just play the big character, they are not a blocker, they don't gain any value. I mean, this card at least gains a life card, but Jack and the Kuzan don't get any value for you. And then you have definitely a problem. Like, maybe you can do this for one turn, but even sometimes one turn sets you so far behind that you cannot come back. So that is the only problem I see with the deck, or the second only problem. The cost reduction is sometimes a problem, and the weak early game, of course. Like, pushy decks will just run over this deck. I mean, you can afford to lose the first 2 lives, but after that, you only have 2 real blocker here, and I mean, you have a lot of 2Ks, but it doesn't matter if your opponent runs 2 times with, I don't know, like 10 or 11 cost power into you. You definitely need a low cost blocker to combine maybe with one of the KOing cards to get rid of the opponent's board and also save your own. But yeah, in the end, I enjoyed the deck. It was really fun to play. I was really surprised because I always thought that King is a bad deck. It definitely isn't. And yeah, it's definitely an option. So please try the deck out. Give me some feedback. Write it in the comments if you have some other additions you would make to the deck. I mean, like this card and this card. You could also switch out for other 2Ks maybe. Or maybe also some value cards. I don't know. But yeah, in general, I quite enjoyed the deck so far. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.